Niners! Films time. First, this is the most special year since we started doing this years ago. 49ers had, oh man, Trent Baalke left vacuums. Vacuum, not just spaces and places missing, vacuums of needs for the 49ers. So, since Kyle and John got here, they've been cleaning the house, throwing people out, bringing people in, throwing people out, bringing people in, until finally we got through with all the bricks being built. And now we got the house built. It's strong as ever. Now is when your skills really get tested. You're bringing back a Super Bowl team, almost all of them, except for a couple of guys. You know they are. E-Man's not with us. Defoe left, but everybody else is back. Say, let us go now. Now we got right man for the job. I got Teran. Come on. Teran, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Niner fam? What's up, Ronbo?
Teran, this is fun stuff. I just hope this window stays open for like years and years. Let a dynasty be on its way. Damn, man, I like what I'm seeing. Teran, this is like very interesting because like this is gonna be Teran. You're gonna present this, and we're all gonna look at it. By the way, if you have a question, go ahead, and what you do is you put Q in your question, Q. So we can see hashtag Q, so we can see it. Question, and we'll get your question right to Teran because he's not watching the chat. I am, and of course, if phone calls are welcome too, we'll take those at some point too. If you want to talk directly to Teran and ask him a question, better than you can write. A lot of people have that problem. Most Seahawks fans have that problem. Cowboys can't even talk. Right, Teran, when you're ready, Teran, let us begin.
All right, sounds good, Ronbo. All right, Niner fam, here goes the moment of truth here. This draft that I put together is not necessarily what I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are going to do. This is what I would do if I was a GM.
Good.
And as you know, we don't have much draft capital, so I have a couple trades I want to announce before the draft, just to get us a couple more picks so we can maneuver around a little bit. So my first trade, I'm keeping number 13, but my first trade, I'm going to trade number 31 overall to the Cleveland Browns for the 31st pick in this draft, number 97 in this draft, and also a third-round pick in 2021. And then so that'll give us a first, second, and a third round. And then I'm also going to trade, Marquise Goodwin to Tampa Bay for a sixth-round pick for 2020 draft, pick number 194. And I think that trade makes sense just as a simple fact. Behind Evans and Godwin, they don't have much other weapons. And I think the way Bruce Arians like to throw it down the field, this would be a good fit for Marquise as far as a deep threat for Tom Brady. So that's where I get the trade from Marquise going to Tampa Bay, and they have like $30 million in cap space, so they can afford this trade. So, all right, Niner fam. So here goes the draft. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to keep number 13 because you don't trade away a superstar talent like DeForest Buckner to not pick a top 15 player, in my opinion. Although I think they could trade it, but if it was me, I'd keep it. Like Ronbo mentioned earlier, we're bringing back 20 out of 22 starters for this. And we were this close. We're 8 minutes away from winning that Super Bowl. I said it last night when we were talking. We're up 20-10 with 8 minutes left. So I don't think you draft somebody, I don't think you draft somebody top 15 to put them on the bench when you're that close to winning the ring. So for the first round, pick number 13, I think this player fits us well. I think CeeDee Lamb is the best wide receiver in this draft, but I think he'll be gone. So at pick number 13, I think he fits the system well. I'm going wide receiver Henry Ruggs out of Alabama.
Yes.
Henry Ruggs. I think he complements his offense perfectly. Deebo Samuel, he's like our Swiss Army knife. And I think Henry Ruggs pretty much does the same things in Alabama. He can line up outside, line up in the slot. He catches balls out of the backfield. And I think with Ruggs, and then I think I'm looking at is drafting a healthy team. I think we've drafted a lot of players in the past couple of rounds that always have injury concerns. So I'm trying to go away from that. So I think Henry Ruggs, He got a concussion, I think, against Michigan, but other than that, he's been healthy. You bring Henry Ruggs in to team up with Debo Samuel, hopefully a healthy Jalen Hurd and George Kittle. With our running backs, it's going to be unstoppable. I mean, that'll just be ridiculous if we bring in somebody like that. So my first pick was going to be Henry Ruggs, wide receiver. All right, so with the number 31st pick, I traded it so we can go down 10 spots. I did my mock draft about a week ago, but this player's been kind of rising up draft boards. But with the second round pick number 41 overall, I'm going Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle from Oklahoma. 6'3", 304 pounds, runs a 4.79. Dude is nasty. He might go earlier, but I think him and Justin Matabuke are kind of going for, who's going to be picked first in the either bottom of the first round, top of the second. But if Gallimore is there, I think we have to take him. We lost 2 of our D tackles. We lost Sheldon Day, and we also lost Buckner. We're bringing back Solomon Thomas. I don't know if I trust him yet. I mean, hopefully he can do his thing. I mean, but we have Ronald Blair coming back, but he's coming off an injury. DJ Jones coming off an injury. Contavia Street's a mystery. We have that Kevin Givens. So we have some depth, but we don't have anybody that, other than, Armstead in the middle, or sometimes he does end tackle. But I think if you go Neville Gallimore, it'll be a steal at that point. Hopefully he can drop to that point. But if he's there, I think you take him to add depth to that defensive line.
I like that.
Yeah. So, and then the third round, again, with the trade that we pulled off, number 97, I'm going Reggie Robinson, cornerback out of Tulsa. Guy is 6'1", 202 pounds, runs a 4.44 40. He has the size and physicality that, this team looks for. He doesn't have to start right away. You can groom him behind Sherman. He kind of gets looked down upon because of the school he went to, but dude's a baller. He can play man. He can play zone. I looked at corner for top of the second round, but I think with that value for getting Gallimore, that was better value. But I think Reggie Robinson has the tools to learn, maybe be our third, fourth cornerback, sit behind Sherman. And 2, don't forget, I don't know if you guys read any articles, but 49ers are high on our last year's draft pick, fifth rounder, Tim Harris. From Virginia.
Man. Yeah.
People forget about him. Yeah, he had third round value. He fell to the 5th round because of his injury concerns. But we have him still sitting in the depth. We have Tease Tabor, who we got from the Lions, who plays great at zone, but he didn't get a chance to play. He was on our practice squad. So we have some depth. This cornerback class to me is pretty deep. So you getting probably a second round talent in the third round. So I'm going corner Reggie Robinson with the third pick, number 97 overall. So now we don't have a 4th round pick, so we're jumping to the 5th round. This is what I call our money round because we've drafted George Kittle and Drake Greenlaw in this round. 2 steals. This round has been
and Trent Taylor, who we're still waiting for, but we know first year was awesome. That's 3 5th round picks you're talking, yeah.
3 5th round picks, yeah. So that's been our money round. So with this round, hopefully we get some value. So if you're wondering why I didn't go offensive tackle earlier or offensive lineman, it's because I believe in school. I believe in Brunskill, and I also believe in Sean Coleman, who they brought back for another year. So with the 5th round, pick number 156 overall, I'm going Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle from Auburn, 6'5", 306 pounds. He's the tall, lean offensive tackle that can move around that we like on this team. He's been a 3-year starter at Auburn. He's played both left and right tackle, and he's pretty solid. Doesn't have any injury concerns, so he'd be a great value with this pick. So staying in the 5th round, we have pick number 176 overall. This is still one of our own picks. I'm going Keith Ishmael, offensive guard and center, San Diego State. This gentleman is 6'3", 310 pounds. Once again, he shows some versatility. He's been a 2-year starter at San Diego State. He's light, like we like him. Has good movement, and with our interior being kind of up in the air, we have a guy that we bring with 2-year starter that can play offensive guard and center for us. And we know our center has been hurt for the last couple of years. He always has some kind of
Very.
lingering injury that he always brings to the table. So we bring him and let him sit. This guy's been pretty good for San Diego State. Um, with the Marquise Goodwin trade, now we have a 6th-round pick, number 194. I'm going with Stephen Sullivan, tight end from LSU. 6'4", 250 pounds, runs a 4.66. Didn't get much playing time because of Randy Moss's son. But this guy, he brings that pass catching ability. He can block, and I think he'd be a good third tight end behind Ross Dwelley. I think the reason why they're still looking at tight end because Ross Dwelley is more of a pass catching tight end. But with our scheme, we like tight ends that can block, and Stephen Sullivan brings that to the table.
Oh, all right.
So, and I think that'd be good tight end. So if it wasn't for Moss, he probably would have went higher. But he's kind of the forgotten man on that tight end depth at LSU. And then we're going. So we're staying in the 6th round. Pick number 210. I'm going Davion Taylor, a linebacker from Colorado. 6'1", 230 pounds, runs a 4.49 40. And as you know, with our scheme, we like them kind of smallish linebackers, like the Quan Alexanders. Drake Greenlaw's only like 5'11", 230. We like those small linebackers.
Sideline to sideline.
Sideline to sideline, especially with our division, with our quarterbacks, with Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. We got some scramblers, and they gave us fits last year. Yeah. They gave us some fits, and we need that speed at linebacker and safety and stuff to kind of, keep them behind the line of scrimmage because they were killing us last year. So that brings that depth to linebacker.
To the point that even Jared Goff tried it.
He did. I remember that. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah, he tried it too.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But that just shows you're right. That just shows the vulnerability that every team in the league. They watched Lamar Jackson and said, there's the key to beating the 49ers. Run that quarterback out of that pocket. Oh, here we come.
Yeah, and it gave us problems. So, and there's just, people forget Arizona. Even though we beat them, they almost beat us twice. So, So, and then our last pick in the 6th round, number 217 overall. I'm adding some more depth at wide receiver. I'm going Joe Reed, wide receiver from University of Virginia. 6 foot, 224 pounds, runs a 4.47 40. He was kind of a do-it-all guy at Virginia. He reminds me, honestly, of Deebo Samuel Light. Got the same type of build, strong, catches pass out of the backfield, real physical, kickoff returns and stuff. So he adds value to the team. Just in case, like I said, depending on what's going on with Trent Taylor and Jalen Hurd. I really hope those guys are okay, but you never know what's going on with that back injury. So and Trent Taylor has a 2-year foot injury. So
I know, right?
So we need
actually,
he's been injured for 2 years.
Was a back. I think it was back in 2018. Last year.
Back in 2018, and then this year's foot.
They fixed it once. They fixed it twice. They fixed that same foot a third or fourth time. That's I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, that's kind of worrisome. And then with my last pick, I don't know how people are going to agree with this, but I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep Nick Mullins. So I figured this might be his last year with us. Beathard ain't it. So I just don't I'm not a big fan of CJ Beathard. So if you never heard of this guy, I'm about to draft, go look at film on him. He's a baller. I'm going with quarterback Nathan Rourke out of Ohio University. 6'1", 210 pounds, kind of on the smallish side. Kind of on the small side, but he's the same size as Nick Mullins. He runs a 4.69. But let me tell you these stats. In the last 2 years, he has 43 touchdowns and only 13 interceptions. And last year alone, he rushed for 867 yards and 13 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. He can move around.
He can move around and he can throw. If you guys go look, Ohio University, Nathan Rourke. There's a 5-minute clip on him somebody posted a couple months ago, but I've been watching him, and he's a baller. And I'd take a chance on him in the 7th round just to bring him into camp, and maybe he can be our third quarterback, and we get rid of CJ. And just in case Nick Mullins moves on, you got to have somebody ready. Even if he can sit for 2 years to learn that playbook, if Jimmy were to get hurt again or something, we have a valuable backup. So that's my mock draft for 2020.
I tell you, Nick Mullins, poor guy, I feel sorry for him. He could be. How long did Brett Favre make Aaron Rodgers sit down? I got a feeling Nick's going to be around. They're going to sign Nick because Nick knows too much. I'm telling you, Teran.
He does.
If I'm another opposing coach, and especially in NFC West, I'm trying to get Nick every year.
Uh-huh.
Because the guy's brilliant with the playbook. I can sit him down, and there's nothing Kyle can do, because Kyle's even said it himself. He says, the only person that knows the playbook maybe better than I do is Nick Mullins. What?
Nick Mullins. Yep.
I said, what?
He said that.
Really?
He's been there ever since Shanahan's been there. So, he knows that playbook. But I don't know. I just don't know how long we're gonna be able to keep that guy. Like,
I know.
at some point he's gonna, we're not gonna tag him obviously, and at some point he's gonna want to go and prove he can start somewhere. So I'd say in about 2 years he's gone. So if you can grab a quarterback that can groom, because I didn't like all the dudes been bringing in. Like the guy we had last year out of Michigan, I can't remember his name because I'm a huge Wolverines fan, but the guy we had in the camp was terrible. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right? The guy that was, but he was
the
terrible.
really tall guy, and I
I
think
can't remember his name,
he went to school down. You said I thought he went to school. There's some tall kid that went to school right down the road. From he's a local
the one
kid.
I'm talking about, he did go to Michigan. I just can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but he was terrible.
Yeah, well,
So,
that's why he was in there trying to get a job.
exactly.
All right. Hey, let me look over here now. Let me give you the Terrence mock draft trades. Number 31 overall, he sent to Cleveland for pick number 41, pick number 97, and a third round pick in 2021. And the Browns could buy it on that, because the Browns are probably needing to move up. Although the Browns, no matter what they do, they can have 4 or 5 picks, and that'd still be the Cleveland Browns. That's really scary. He said, 2, trade wide receiver Marquise Goodwin to Tampa Bay for a 6th round pick. And you know what? You're absolutely right. Arians, with Brady, I think he'd really go for that. The only thing they question is Goodwin coming to us, and is he gonna be healthy? He'd have to pass the physical, and then of course they'd probably give him an interview and see if he's all right now, because right now Goodwin, with his child already here, I think that was really raising some. I mean, the anxiety must have been crazy, because he's not been right since second year. Let's get 1st round pick at 13. I see you in the chat complaining. Teran picked my dude, Henrik Ruggs. Come front and center. Fit him up right now. Put him in this 90 uniform with all that speed. Give me the answer to Tyreek Hill. Yes. Good shot. 2nd round pick, number 41, defensive tackle, Neville Gallimore. See, these are the kind of wild men I want to know about. I've seen Gallimore, but I want to see if that craziness transfers to the NFL. Gallimore's a good choice, a defensive tackle with that 2nd round pick. 3rd round pick, and notice Terrence picked up some extra round picks, because the 49ers are vicious, as we've seen in the history, as long as they got pick in every round. Because you figure the 49ers, 3 out of 4 picks, 1 out of 3 picks is going to be a killer. I mean, I'm looking at the ratio. That seems the way it is. And maybe even better than that. On 3rd round pick, number 97, cornerback Reggie Robinson, 2nd from Tulsa. And we're going to get a quarterback somewhere in this draft anyway, no matter what. The 49ers are definitely going to pick up another cornerback. I would bet on that. 5th round, here it is. This is the money round. This is the 49ers money round. Everybody knows it. Offensive tackle Jack Driscoll of Auburn. And as Teran points out, he's got a lot of size, and he's got maneuverability. He's pretty fast. You know, Kyle Shanahan needs offensive linemen, not juggernauts that sit there and beat people up. They got to get out in space and do things. Another 5th round pick is guard center Keith Ismail from San Diego State. And again, you get those attributes you have to have. 6th round pick at 194, tight end Steven Sullivan. And by the way, the conversations about tight end have got to be real. 49ers normally do throw smoke screens up, but I got a feeling they're serious about a tight end. Just like Teran pointed out, Dwelly is more of a move tight end. He's not a kind of a physical guy out there that's going to beat people up, although he did a pretty good job after Kittle went down last year, but he only did a pretty good job, because the fact of the matter is, having lost Kittle and Juice was scary, because both of them dudes beat people up. in the course of a game. And on a 6th-round pick, also 210 linebacker Davion Taylor. He's got athleticism, and that's what you got to have if you're going to be a member before they give you a card saying, "Hot boys." Got to be able to move.
That's
And
right.
on 6th-round pick, also 217 wide receiver Joe Reed out of Virginia. I don't know about Joe, but Teran points him out and likes him. All right. 7th-round pick, 245. You heard the argument. And if anybody has any questions about Nick Mullins, see, Nick Mullins is worth his weight in gold, and the 49ers are cheating that boy. You know, actually, Nick Mullins, they should double that pay. I don't know if there's a standard you have to maintain or something like that in order to keep that his status, but Nick Mullins is underpaid grossly. So he may not be with us forever. And at some point, the 49ers may say, this is not fair. We can't hold this kid here in his prime, making him wait. So we'll see about that. But anyway, Teran's making reservations for that possibility right now with Nathan Wark. He's fast. He's got a lot of yards gained on the ground. He hasn't done. And hey, Teran, how many INTs did you say versus his TDs?
Oh, in the last 2 years, he has 43 touchdowns to only 13 interceptions.
Ooh, this boy, man. Man, he may go early. Probably, a lot of people probably know about him. All right. I got some questions for you. By the way, we'll allow you. You want to talk directly to Teran? That's allowed too. You got to get the phone number and pin everything inside the app. But Pete Gorman wants to know. Taking a corner or wide receiver at 13. What kind of thought did you put in that, Teran? A lot of people are still debating that, whether it be a wide receiver or where do you put the? Because you obviously picked a wide receiver though. But what is the implication that we should be getting? If you can point out any that we should have got a cornerback with that 13th pick.
Yeah, sure. Kind of like I mentioned earlier before I started drafting, I feel bringing back 20 out of 22 starters, we need to complement our weakness, and I think our defense is our strength. Even though we lost to DeForest Buckner, and I go with value. I don't like to reach. I love me some C.J. Henderson, but I think at 13 he's not really necessary. I think that's too high for him. He's a top 20 prospect, not 13. If Jeff Okudah is there, I'm changing my tune. But that's not going to happen. Yeah. But I think Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy. See, my process in this was I figured C.J. Lamb would probably be gone to probably the Jets, and I think Jerry Jeudy might go to the Raiders. So I feel like if you got to pick between Ruggs or a C.J. Henderson, I'm going with Ruggs because I think he brings more dynamic playmaking ability right away. When I think C.J. Henderson wouldn't probably start right away because I mean Emmanuel Mosley's been pretty solid. He knows the scheme. Yeah. Sherman ain't going to the bench, so that's the reason why I went wide receiver because I think Ruggs is a better prospect than any other corner after Jeff Okudah.
You got faith in Spoon being that reserve cornerback. I wonder, is he gonna shake it off? Did he have a foot injury that's lingering? He didn't mention last year. He didn't look like the same Spoon. That means if Sherm goes down to injury, and he did, it felt a couple times like Sherm plays too, you could break Sherm's neck. He still come back on the field on the next series after he goes back to the sideline. But Mosley, I agree. Mosley is going to end up being one of the premier cornerbacks next year in the NFL. I already know it because he learned a lot of things last year, including when Tyreek Hill's going south. Dang it, take your butt with him. So he's learned a lot. He's got great skills. But are we going to be okay with Spoon, the reserve?
Spoon. What's funny about Spoon? Yeah. I did mention Tim Harris.
I forgot about him.
Tim Harris coming back. Hopefully, I'm hoping. I was talking to a couple people on Twitter the other day. We have some depth at corner. I'm hoping somebody like a DJ Reed steps up, or you have somebody like I said, we drafted that corner last year who was a third round
Tim
value,
Harris.
Tim Harris,
Yeah.
6'2", 205, what runs a 4.4. He just was injured, and he dropped to the 5th round. So I think we stole him, and I think he has the ability to come in. And with Spoon, his coverage skills wasn't bad. It's just he don't know when to turn around.
Yeah.
That's I mean,
I,
do you remember that old corner we used to have, Shante Spencer?
oh yeah.
That's who he
And
reminds me of. It's like he
yeah.
can be in great position, but then he doesn't turn around. I'm like, dude, that's something you learn in Pop Warner football. Turn your head.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
not only that.
you watch the receiver's eyes. The
Yeah.
receiver's eyes tell you the whole story. Their eyes get bigger when the ball's coming towards them. Turn
Like I
around
said,
and make
there's
a
a
play.
step. Yes, there's a step-by-step process, Spoon.
It is.
You're running out
And
there
I don't
like
know
you do.
about yeah. I don't know
Go
if you
ahead.
agree, Ronbo, but before he got hurt, he was playing some good football. When we played like
I
Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, like Weatherspoon was playing some good football. Then it
wasn't
seems like
he?
after the injury, I thought he was. I mean, he had that pick against Tampa Bay the first game, against Cincinnati our second game. I mean, he played solid. I think once he got hurt and he came back, I think his confidence was kind of shot, or maybe he wasn't fully healthy. I don't know, but I'm really hoping one of these cornerbacks step up. But I like that cornerback I drafted in the 3rd round,
All
Reggie
right.
Robinson.
All right.
He plays man and zone, so we'll see what happens.
Ooh, let's see
Plus, as
that.
we know, as we know, pass rush makes your secondary better anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Bosa's going to be
Indeed.
better.
Yeah.
Bosa's going to be better.
Can you
Hopefully
imagine?
D4 is healthy. Hopefully D4 gives us at least 13 games or something. So
Oh,
I think
please,
we'll be fine.
please, D. And,
Yeah.
and the thing is, because that's all you're gonna get out of D. So so Teran, you just hope that they are the second half of the season, I guess.
Mhm.
D Ford is so good when he's on the field,
Yes.
but will he stay on the field? That's the thing.
I don't know. Yeah.
So anyway, um, also the next one is now. It says, what do you feel about trading down with the Dolphins and selecting C.J. Henderson, trade back up and get? Hey, that's Henderson's the guy you picked up, right?
But CJ Henderson was the one that somebody mentioned earlier.
Oh, okay, okay.
About why didn't I pick a corner over Ruggs? And I kind of explained that.
All right, I'm sorry. Just you know
Yeah.
what? He says, what do you feel about trading down with the Dolphins and selecting C.J. and trade back up and get Justin Jefferson? Hey, how do you feel about Justin Jefferson?
I like him a lot. And I think right now, even though I picked Ruggs, I think right now he's a better complete receiver than Ruggs. He runs great routes and stuff, but I think Ruggs has the highest ceiling out of the top 4 receivers, in my opinion. Lamb is the best right now, I think, but I think Ruggs in the right offense could kill. And I think him coming in, not having to be the main guy, because we have Debo and we have Kittle and stuff. I think Ruggs in this offense would be epic. That's just my opinion.
And
But I but
also,
I do like but I do like me some Justin Jefferson.
yeah, because I'm wondering, whomever comes and in fact, Ruggs makes more sense. Contrary to popular opinion, I have a feeling that who's going to take a larger role next year, and it's going to make Big Show really mad. I have a feeling Kendrick Bourne is going to take a step up in his job assignment each and every Sunday.
Hmm.
So that means you got Debo. You gotta see if you can beat out Kendrick. Trent Taylor's healthy. Nobody's gonna keep him on the bench.
No,
I don't know about Hurd. Like everybody's wondering, will the back endure? So yeah. So you need the speed element. It's probably the most important thing to open that
sure.
field up and keep them safeties from thinking, we got this. No, y'all ain't got this. But you know what you can do? Stay right there and wait a minute. You look behind you, you be doing like Spoon saying, uh-oh. Also, like this recent, he says, I think Justin Jefferson's going to be a better pro. And you just sort of much reflected on the reason why. You probably think
Uh-huh.
Jefferson probably a better route runner and everything, just like you mentioned, right? So,
Yeah.
all
Uh-huh.
right, so that question's been answered.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
think what it comes down to it too is scheme. Like
oh,
you
yeah.
go to the right fit, and I think Ruggs and Kyle Shanahan's offense would be amazing. Especially like I said, he doesn't have to come in and actually be the guy right away.
hmm
But you have to account for him every single time he's on the
Every,
field because
every time he's on the
every
field.
single time. It's not like I mean, I'm not trying to dog them. It's not like it's a Pettis where it's like, oh, whatever. We'll put one guy on him or whatever, probably a linebacker. But when
Mm,
you got somebody like Ruggs, you really have to think about who's going to guard him. And if you start putting two people, if you put a safety over the top and put a corner on him, and
See,
if you're willing to do that and leave the middle open for Debo Samuel and Kittle to eat, I'll take that all day.
oh, and you know what? And Trent's gonna be cutting across that area too. Now
Exactly. And then
this,
and we got Jerick McKinnon coming back. So I mean, it's going to
oh,
be
oh, and McKinnon. Not only does McKinnon run great routes, as the TC now, they can. Oh, there's so many options. If you can get that middle of the field, at least scared. See, because that's
exactly.
why I've been credit. Marquise Cooper used to have that ability. Remember? That's why
He did.
George Kittle had the year that he had the year before. You could see dudes leaving with Keys going downfield. Stay here and wait if you
Yep.
want to, but the ball's going downfield, and so is Keys. So they got to go. See, that's an element you cannot underrate.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Now Big J says, is Mims better than
Better.
Higgins?
No.
And I imagine Jefferson as well. If you got to go, well, you know what, though? You got this early on, so it's not about that. But what is your feeling about Mims versus Higgins?
Oh, Mims, he's better than Higgins. I'm not really high on Higgins. There's a couple receivers I have higher than Higgins. I have Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is better
Yeah,
than T Higgins in my opinion.
that's a
I like
strong
Jalen.
dude.
I like Jalen Rager. I think there's couple people that I like better than T Higgins, but I do like Mims. He'd be in probably my top 7, top 8 of the receivers.
Yeah, same here. Mims is my next receiver that's not named Judy, Ruggs, or Lamb. You know, because Mims he's physical. He blocks. He's got incredible speed. He's got size. He's a whole package. Higgins,
Yes.
but Teran, do you know that Higgins was ranked as a number 1 deep threat? He does everything else. He's just
Really?
average, but he's the biggest
Uh,
deep threat guy in this draft. I don't get it.
I don't agree with that one, but
I,
maybe it's because his yards per
stats.
catch was higher than everybody else. Maybe,
Yeah,
but as far
stats.
as but if you watch his game, if you see it on the field, he's absolutely not the best deep threat. That's for sure.
I don't know
I'm
how
not
they came
dogging
up
him.
with
I'm not
that.
dogging him. He's a good receiver. I just have
He
a couple
is.
guys higher than him, but he's not a better deep threat than Brandon Ayuk. He's not a better deep threat than Mims. Like, there's no way.
I can't imagine him being a better threat, but deep threat than Ruggs either. So I
No,
look at the stats
not
and I
even
saw what
close.
they were saying. I said, I gotta go see Higgins, and I watched him, and he said he's average of everything, but one thing he does do is he's a deep threat. It's really
Well,
okay.
here's the thing: are they looking at yards per catch? Because I mean, he is like 6'4", so maybe he's catching 30-yard bombs down the field. But
Mm-hmm.
what is Yak? Is he
Mm-hmm.
running after the catch like these other guys? I doubt it.
No,
You know.
no.
So that could be. He could be just out jumping his cornerbacks in college and makes it look like he's a better deep threat. But in the
Mm-hmm.
NFL, he won't be.
Mm-hmm. As a scout, you got to be careful of that. You know, you sit
Uh-huh.
up and you read the numbers without seeing these guys play and make a determination. Okay, this is our guy. You better go check inside. First of all, check his competition, look at his quarterback, all right, and look at his size. And does that translate to the NFL or not? Probably
Uh-huh.
not.
I mean, he has
So,
Trevor Lawrence throwing him the football. That's the best quarterback in college football. So
see,
so
don't overrate him. Uh, Kevin Stewart wants to know what about Lynn Bowden?
I like him. Guy out of Kentucky, or is it Memphis? One of the two. Yeah, he's really good. He's a kind of like a Swiss Army knife do-it-all guy too. But the way my draft was falling down, I think he'll probably go around the third or fourth round. And one, we don't have a fourth round pick, and two, if I already had addressed wide receiver and defensive tackle, so I think we needed to address secondary at that point. So that's why I went with corner in third round. But I do like Lynn Bowden. He's a beast. I like him.
All right. And Sheik Niner is the one who overrated. Sheik, I don't agree with you either, man. She overrated Ruggs. Sheik, think scheme, Sheik. Anyway, Sheik Niner says, why is picking Reggie Robertson over Lamar Jackson? Your response on that?
I think Lamar Jackson, he might be gone already. When I
Mm,
was looking at my prospects, I think he'll go higher than that. But otherwise, he would have been my pick. But I think he goes higher than pick number 97. in my eyes. So, but don't sleep on Reggie Robinson. Dude's a stud too. He's a baller, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a ball hawk, and that's what we need. Our secondary did pretty well last year as far as taking the ball away, but we can always use another ball hawk, and he's physical. That's what I like about Reggie Robinson.
Oh yeah. See, you start beating guys up after they make that catch. They give up the ball. We saw that a lot last year. The 49ers are so good at creating turnovers. Went from a team that couldn't get a turnover to save their lives last
I
year to just
know.
tearing people up. Gotta be physical.
Mhm.
Now E and DK, here's a comparison, and I've heard this enough times now, starting to bother me actually. But uh, Jerry Judy, will we bring back the golden days of that other Jerry? I gotta watch more film of him. I don't know that I see all that. What is Judy? Is he something you would actually consider putting on a level of Rice?
No, no. To me, I think Jerry Judy, if he's comes in, I think he could fit in any scheme. His route running is the best I've seen in the last few years for college wide receivers. To me, Jerry Judy's probably about Odell Beckham, like when he came out, and I think
Mm,
and that's nothing to sneeze about. You get an
that's
Odell
good.
Beckham on his team. You get an Odell Beckham on his team. I'm happy. So I think Jerry Judy, he has that ability to be Odell Beckham. I don't think he gets any better than that. Not saying he can't, but I think Odell Beckham is probably his ceiling, and I think his floor. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I mean,
Yeah,
but
especially
as far as
now.
but as far as putting him on Rice's level, I don't think that's even fair to do that to Jerry Judy.
Hmm.
That's not fair
Yeah.
to do to anybody coming out of college. So
Where would you compare him to Amari Cooper? Because Amari Cooper's been one of the most impressive route runners to me coming out of school in the last few years. Where do they compare? Put him in Bama. What do they do to those guys?
I know they all come out great route runners because even Calvin Ridley came out a great route runner.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I would say Judy to me, he's a better prospect than both of them guys coming out of college. Amari Cooper, I mean, he was good, but to me, he disappears in games and stuff. And
Yeah,
Jerry,
I know.
he does. Jerry Judy, I don't see him doing that. He's a better route runner than Amari Cooper coming out of college, I think. And I don't know. I think his hands are better. Amari Cooper, to me, he had like one or two good years, and he hasn't really done much after that, in my opinion. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah, I
Jerry Judy's a
agree.
better prospect. Yeah, I think Jerry Drew's a better prospect than Amari Cooper coming out of college, in my
And it
opinion.
sounds like Judy's got Amari Cooper. I I don't. I could be wrong. It
Hmm.
seems like he gets bored or bothered with his team and he gives up. He gave
It
up
could
on the
be.
Raiders. I mean, I don't. Actually, when you think about where he was, maybe he didn't like being in Oakland. But there are better ways to
Mhm.
get out of your contract than all of a sudden looking like it's just another day of work. You know what I'm saying? Oops,
Yeah,
accidentally dropped that one
yeah,
too. Mark, what are you doing, man? I would.
yeah,
I worry about guys with that kind of attitude. Now he got to Dallas, and what did they pay him $100 million?
yeah. He got something like that. He got a huge contract.
Everybody wants to play for Dallas. They just be throwing mad money at people that
That's because
don't even
Jerry. Yeah,
deserve it.
Jerry Jones ain't afraid to pay. That's why you get in his good graces. He's gonna pay you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with Dak. Anyway, Quest for Six says, uh, now why would you take Reggie at quarterback over Bryce Hall? It says, I just got Reggie at pick 217 in my mock. Hall is first round talent, can get in third because of injury. Also, what about Cushionberry to give Jimmy more time?
Yeah, those are two great picks as well. I'm telling. Bryce Hall, he's good, but I don't know. I just really like this Reggie Robinson dude. He impresses me. Like I said, it's all about scheme fit as well, and I really think he fits what this team is looking for at corner. So that's the reason why I didn't go with Bryce Hall. And as far as Questenberry, he's good too. But like I said, I think in my opinion, my our three biggest needs are wide receiver, D line depth, and corner. So I kind of went, and I didn't want to reach for anybody. So I kind of felt I picked people where they're warranted. So but I do like Reggie Robinson in the third round. So some people have him marked higher than third round. Some people got him into the second. But I think third round's probably where it's going to go. But like I said, he played at a small school. He played at Tulsa, so he doesn't get talked about much. But dude has all the traits that you're looking for in a corner. So
How tall is Roberts? Is what's his measurements?
He's 6'1", 202,
Okay,
and he runs a
and
4.4 40.
all right, Bryce Hall is he
Bryce
is he
Hall, he's not.
six plus?
No, I want to say he's like 5'10", 5'11", I think, if I can remember
Yeah, see
correctly.
that? You're right. They're okay. They like Mosley, and he came in and he proved he can handle it. The formula with that cover three, they still want a long guy if they can get him.
Uh,
The thing is, if you can find another Richard Sherman, he's ideal for what they want to do. You
he's
got to
6'3", yeah.
yeah. See, that's
Yeah.
so if you start getting below 6 foot, I don't know why. We've seen some good performances by Mosley. See,
Uh,
because Mosley proved to me that you don't have to be that long to still get it done. Athleticism
that's true.
works.
That's true.
So yeah, but they didn't
I
seem
mean,
to.
we do have some small corners too. We got Kwan Williams, we got DJ Reed, but if you look at, like I said, the guy we drafted last year, Tim Harris is 6'2", and then we
See,
picked up Tease Tabor from Florida.
mm,
He was on our
mm,
practice squad last year. He's almost 6'1". He's 6'1.5", 200 pounds. So they like guys that got a little bit of size on them and that are
mm.
physical. So,
I,
and I really like Tease. I think Tease, when we went to the Lions, I thought they got a steal, draft him in the second round. He didn't quite fit in there. But I think you come to a team like ours with the guidance of Sherman, and then with our pass rush, I think it'll make any corner better than what they are, to be
yeah,
honest. So,
and that's what did last year. Hall is
yep.
6'1" though, so
Oh, 6'1", so he's
yeah
pretty big
six
too.
one
Yeah.
208, and with Kwan's that slot menace.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, you don't want to be actually you want to be about K1 size. So you got maneuver, you can
Yeah.
turn and spin on a dime, coordination and everything else comes into hand there. And
Uh,
K1 was one of the best in the NFL. I
yes,
really
he was.
oh man, they don't allow slot corners don't go to the Pro Bowl, but if they did, K1 would have been there.
He was one of
Uh
the best last year. He's a free agent next year too. I hope we can retain him.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
But at least they're staggered year after year after year. Who do we need to pay
Yes.
next year? So,
Kittle. I
Kittle.
think Kittle,
Oh,
and I think Fred Warner needs to be paid too.
if you get him early, don't wait until his
Yeah,
fourth year,
that's
right?
exactly. Hopefully, we
Yeah.
can get him. Well, I don't know. You know what? Yeah, because I think after this season coming up, you can start negotiating after the third year. So yeah, I would love to get Fred Warner too. But like you said, get him early so it doesn't cost us too much. But at the same time, our what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. He's great at writing contracts.
Parag. Yeah,
Prague,
Parag
yeah,
is
Prague. He's great at
Marath,
writing
man.
contracts. So
Guy's
yeah,
great. Is
Prague, yeah.
Juice? Wait, is Juice? Did Juice just sign a contract, or is this next year?
I think he signed a 4-year deal with us, right? When he first came from Baltimore.
Yeah,
So I think he might be a free agent next year too. I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah. We gotta see. This is why when people say, "Man, why did we play DeForest Buckner?" Look, man, 21 million means you're tapping into funds that you ain't even got yet. I
That
understand
you
the
ain't got, yeah.
CBA and everything, but I just got to get this off my chest. I'm really upset with DeForest Buckner when I think about it. I understand you're supposed to go get it when you can. You're a football player, and nobody knows your next snap could be your last. But if you really want to be with the 49ers, why can't you just step it back a little?
Just a little bit, yeah.
18 wasn't going to put you in the poorhouse. And
Not at
that's what
all.
people, yeah. And when people say Eric Armstead, man, we didn't need to pay him. Well, Eric was flexible. If they would have said, can we do this so we can keep your classmate from Oregon with us,
Oregon.
he would have kept it. Eric would have went with that. He really wants to stay in the Bay Area. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. And Damian Lee says, our defense has a lot of players coming back from injuries. Why not focus on defense so we won't miss a step? There's a sentiment out there that we, offensively, people still think that we don't really need a lot of adjustment. What are you feeling on emphasizing anything other than defense?
Well, 2 out of my first 3 picks were on defense. So
So
I'm not sure what he means, but yeah, I picked up a D tackle in the second and a corner
that's
in the
true.
third, and then I picked up a linebacker in this draft too. So I think I added depth at all 3 levels. So
Come to think of it.
But
Yeah, Damien, that's true. He did. Because I didn't look back real quick. I just looked at your question, but that's true. Oh, Brunel Jacob says we just picked up Juice's club option for 1 year. He will be a free agent next season. Yep. Thanks, Brunel.
so next year, yeah.
And Quest for Six says Antonio Gibson is a steal at running back, wide receiver, and ST.
I like him too. Antonio Gibson, he's nice. He's really good. But I don't know. I think I got Joe Reed in the sixth round because I think like they mentioned earlier with Lynn Bowden and Antonio Gibson, I think they're going to be gone before then, just because they bring that kind of element. But Joe Reed's pretty good too. Like I said, he kind of. I mean, I'm not saying he's him, but he kind of has that build and playmaking ability of like Debo Samuel. They got the same build. He's actually a little bit faster than Debo Samuel, but he was a do-it-all guy at Virginia, and he didn't play in a weak conference. He was in the ACC, but sometimes he lined up at quarterback, kickoff, punt return. He played running back. He lined up in the slot outside. So Joe Reed he's a good dude too. If you guys can go look him up on YouTube, he's pretty good.
Teran, see, you just used the name Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel's name has been called more than anybody. You combine and other things all over the league. Everybody wants them a Debo Samuel. Debo's the new standard.
Yes.
I'm loving it, man. Now if you're a kid in 6th or 7th grade or just into your freshman year in high school, you want to work toward being like Debo. I can do everything. I love it.
I love Debo because he does whatever. Put him in a slot outside. I think that that play that we called on him with the end around the reverse. I mean that calls like his money. He was averaging like 10, 11 yards a carry almost on that play. That Debo end around. That play is money.
Didn't he? I mean, he worked it like a charm, and he was going down the field like he had like some kind of a radar. Every block was right, set up. That spin move he put on the Hawks and into the end zone.
Right there on the sidelines. Yep, that was awesome. And he loves contact. I think, and everybody, there's been so many debates about can he be a number one receiver. I think he can. He has that ability. I think I think early in the year he dropped a lot of balls, but it seemed like he cleaned that up as time went on. So he was catching pretty much everything. But, he separates. He's physical. He's not scared to catch over the middle. I think he has number one capabilities. Plus, two, this was his first year in that playbook. And everybody knows Shanahan's playbook is a hard playbook to learn. So him going into his second year, I mean, he's going to be stronger. He's going to be more knowledgeable of the playbook. I like him to take that.
Jimmy's going to be more efficient, and that's going to make a difference in his play as well.
Exactly. And I see him getting 1,000 yards next year, to be honest. So
yes. Because see, the boy's yak is crazy.
It is.
I just want him to learn to make sure I love you fighting, but like Pierre Garçon, don't let nobody get that ball out of your hands. And he started to get that better. When he started making them catches though, Teran, after E-Man came there, I don't know what he did to Debo and Kendrick, but he turned them into professionals overnight. Really, a couple of weeks later, they were just Debo and Kendrick all of a sudden just came out of a hat. So what? Look at that. So yeah.
Hey, Debo, who Debo reminds me of? He reminds me of a faster Anquan Bolden.
Yep.
When that ball's over the middle, it's his. Like he's gonna make sure that ball's his. Nobody else is gonna get it. And I don't know. I've always been the type who likes physical receivers.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I love me some Anquan Bolden. I love Debo. I love Steve Smith Sr. from when he played with Carolina. I love them physical receivers.
Steve Smith was scary.
Yeah, for sure. For being 5'9", he was physical.
Right,
I love
he wasn't that big.
Yep.
Boy, every DB in the league had respect for him. And if you didn't at the beginning of the game, you would by mid-game. And Steve would be all up in your face letting you know. You didn't know you was messing with today, did you? Now you know. And I ain't done with you yet either.
Exactly.
Whoa. Ed Barrett says, if Driscoll is gone by the 5th, which I think he will go earlier, who would be your pick, your alternative pick?
No, that's a good question. I didn't even really look at that. Because usually when you start getting to the 5th round, you start getting slim pickings. But I don't know. There was this tackle I like from Oregon. His last name is like Throckmorton or something crazy. But there was a guy from Oregon I was looking at, and then there was another tackle from Kentucky that I looked at as well. I just can't remember their names off the top of my head, but that
Okay,
was
that's right.
I was looking at the best fit. But I like Driscoll because, like I said, his size and he's agile, and that's what we like in the scheme. We like offensive tackles who can actually run and you know. So
Yeah, you got to be able to do that, and that's
yeah,
why the 49ers went after McGlinchey. I didn't know why they went after him until we saw why. McGlinchey's like a
yeah,
machine going downfield. Once you get behind
yeah.
him, I mean, he escorted guys all the way to the end zone. Yeah, when he took most all over the end zone from the line of scrimmage, I said, Jesus Christ. And Mostert is not slow.
Not at
And
all.
Mostert was running hard, keeping up. I said, that's amazing. So, I need more McGlincheys. Oh,
Yeah,
uh, Niner by Nature says, what do you think of Michael Pittman Jr.?
I like him too. He's really good. So when I was doing my mock and I had that trade, I was going back and forth because I originally had Kinlaw at 13 at first, but then I was like, well, I don't know. For some reason, he's climbing up draft boards. I think he's going to be picked in the top 10. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to
Yeah,
Jacksonville or something.
the
I think
hype
he's
is
going top
rolling.
10. Yeah, yeah. He's getting, yeah, him and Derek Brown or whatever. They're probably going to be both picked in the top 10. So I thought about Pittman in the second round. It was, he's really good. I like his route running ability. He's big. He kind of reminds me of like a Brandon Marshall or like a Kenny Galladay from the
A
Lions.
Galladay. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
comparison.
he reminds me of somebody like that. But I just originally went with Ruggs just because I think his potential is high, and I think, like I said, I've said it like 4 or 5 times, but I really feel he will complete this offense and will change his offense
And
to look pretty
I
scary.
I fully agree. Because
Yeah.
the other, also about Pittman does a lot of things well, but they go jam him up at the line of scrimmage. Pittman's got to figure out, maybe they could teach that. I understand, from my understanding of Pittman is he can't get off the line of scrimmage. DB's toy with them, or they're going to when he gets to the NFL. He's got a lot of ability, but there's some fundamentals he needs coming off the line of scrimmage.
Uh-huh.
If if that doesn't improve, he's going to get handled, and that could be
Uh-huh.
his downfall from what I'm reading on him. So, because
Yeah.
everybody's talking about Michael Pittman, but this ain't Kansas no more, Dorothy. This is the pros. Brunel Jacob says, "What's your take on tight end Harrison Bryant from Florida Atlantic?"
He's pretty good too. He's another one that I considered drafting, but I don't know. I like Stephen Sullivan better. I just think like I said, if it wasn't for Thaddeus Moss, he'd be the starter on that team, and I think he's getting overlooked. He had
Mm,
and I don't really take much of the combine, but he had great combine. He kind of, I'm not saying he's him, but it's funny how like somebody because he was used so much as a blocker at LSU because of the running game for Clyde. What's his name? Clyde Hilaire or whatever his name is. You know what I'm
mm,
talking about, right? The running back.
right,
He used so much
right.
a blocker because Thaddeus Moss is so much of the receiving tight end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like when George Kittle came out. He blocked so much
And
that
likes it.
nobody knew his capability. And I think we're looking for a blocking tight end. But with his measurables being almost 6'5", 250, running a 4.6, he already knows how to block. He already knows how to
Ooh.
block. Yeah, he already knows how to block. And and I think his pass catching ability is kind of underrated. But
But
because
so is
and I think
George's. Nobody knew George
so
Kittle
George
could
exactly
catch
no,
passes and
because
run
if
with the
they thought
ball.
that because if they thought that he wouldn't be a fifth round pick.
No. Oh, that's a George Kittle. They now know it's too late. That's a
Yeah.
first round pick all day,
Oh,
every
absolutely.
day.
Easy.
Yeah.
He does
Ooh.
everything well. He has no weaknesses. He does everything well. But for him to fall to the fifth round, because that's why I laugh because it's like people they look at stats and they look at oh well he didn't catch many balls. Who cares? You have to look at projections sometimes. I mean George Kittle, I think at the combine ran like a 4.5 something. He
That
ran like a
right
four.
there
I want to
said
say
something.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
a 4.55 or something. He ran in the 4.5s, but people all that saw him doing at Iowa was blocked. So they thought, oh, he's just they probably thought he's just athletic, but he doesn't have pass catching ability. And boy, was everybody wrong.
See that? You have to look. Iowa, that's what they do. They run the ball. That's why you got to be careful on some of these things that you look at. A scout goes in, he's got a checklist, he goes down. You got to be careful about that stuff. 49er scouts are very good at this, apparently, because George Kittle, he went to look at CJ. You remember the story, right? They went to look at CJ, and they look at CJ, who he's throwing to, and they looked up, who is that? Who is that? That's George Kittle. Okay, thanks. And he probably didn't say anything else.
Exactly. Because if you look at the draft, look at last year when that tight end from I think did he go to Iowa too? That guy T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah, there was two. There's Hawk and
Hawkinson and Noah Fant. So you look at T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson went in the top 10, and there's no way he's better than Kittle. So like you said, like you mentioned, George Kittle and I think George Kittle probably set the example for them Iowa tight ends. They were like, I'm not going to pass on another one.
Yeah. Iowa said, okay, let's change things up a little bit here. Exactly. We got a tight end who can catch. Let's use him.
Exactly.
So scouts got to be careful of that. Don't be missing people because you took down the wrong checklist. Now, you've been paying close attention, have a gut instinct. This ain't Billy Beanball, man. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Sheik Niner also says, why pass on Lamb or Judy? And don't say Judy dropped passes. He's been the man for years. And we got Debo. We need different styles of wideouts. Lamb can block as well. Go ahead. I want to work on that question as well. But what do you say to that?
He asked me how come I didn't take either Lamb or
Why'd
Judy.
Why'd you pass on Lamb or Judy? And don't say Judy drops passes. He's been the man for years.
The reason why I passed on Lamb or Judy is because they weren't available on my mock. I said it in the beginning, Lamb is the best receiver in his draft class, hands down, in my opinion. I think CeeDee Lamb is the best. He's the most pro-ready. His ceiling's high. He's another DeAndre Hopkins in my book. Not the blazing fast guy, but still can separate, had hands. I do like Judy. I think he fit perfect in this scheme, but I really think, like I mentioned before, I think Lamb goes either to Jacksonville at 8 or to the Jets at 11. And if the Jets, one of them take him, if Judy's there at 12 for the Las Vegas Raiders, they're taking him. So that leaves us with Ruggs. And I think, it's a debate because I really like Justin Jefferson. But Ruggs, like I said, everything is scheme fit. We have Debo. We don't have that burner that scares anybody. People sleep on Ruggs like he's not a good receiver. His route running is good. He only dropped 2 balls all season. So he's not
one.
It might have been one.
There.
Yeah, so it's not like he's nothing to sneeze at. So I don't know why people think that Ruggs is not worth the top 15 pick. So I don't know, but yeah. So to answer your question, Lamb and Judy are better receivers, but if they're gone, I'm taking Ruggs. But I think Ruggs fits our scheme perfectly.
And also, Teran, if I got Jerry Judy, and I got Ruggs. Now I know Ruggs is far better athlete than Judy, but I know Judy can run routes better.
Sure.
I also know that Ruggs is going to destroy a defensive coordinator's sleep the night before we play. Why? Because I can put a guy in here and try to cover Judy. He's not going to beat me deep. If you miss a step on Ruggs, game over. He's not going to miss the ball if they throw it to him, right? Yeah. We don't have that, Sheik. We don't have that. You understand what that means? We have guys that can somewhat at least do what Judy does, but maybe not as well. So when you say we need to diversify what we got, that is diversifying. That's adding that depth element of 4 to whatever he ran.
There's nobody going to 7.
Yeah. Safety's better not stand there and say, we got this. Y'all ain't got this. So
I think with Ruggs, he adds the element that we don't have, just like you said.
Yeah.
And see, the thing about, don't get me wrong, I love me some Jerry Judy, but from me watching him for the last couple of years, I think his only knock is he has problems sometimes with contested catches. And Ruggs, I've never seen him shy away from contacts. So, and I think Ruggs in 2 and 3 years might be better than Judy, especially if he gets in this offense.
In the NFL. See?
Yep, that's in the NFL.
You got to look at the NFL. Because, number one, if Ruggs is as hard to bring down as they claim he is. Now you got a bullet fast Debo. I'll
Yeah,
take that all day. and it,
absolutely.
he's been working with Wes Welker, some other guys. If there's and they said his routes are nowhere. His routes are a little underrated. People say
Yeah,
he's not the route runner that maybe. Who is Jerry Judy's one of the best route runners in this? Well, he is the best route runner, from what I understand, in this particular class. So you don't need to compare him to Judy. You just
no,
use him for what his strength is. Yeah, no, I'll argue for Ruggs all day.
yep,
Elazar Garza says, "Have you thought about Paris Ford, a safety from Pitt?"
no, not yet. I mean, I do think we need some depth at strong safety because I'm not really a big fan of Marcel Harris much. We have Tart. That's I think I don't know if Tart was is Tart gone next year or the year after
Well, his contract ends next year. Yeah,
next
yeah.
year. So yeah, I think we do need some depth at strong safety. But I do like Tavarius more right now. So I don't think safety is much of a need as it is right now, as it can be probably next year. But I think we have some guys who can step in and play some strong safety if need be. Because I think let's just say we're looking to put in the best 11 on the field. I think even if Tart say he gets hurt, we can probably even put Ward at strong for a minute and then put
Hmm.
Tavarius more at free if need be. So
Ooh,
Jimmy Ward's one of the best tackling safeties in football.
yeah. That's. I just
He's
don't. You
I
know
would
what? I just worry
oh
about him.
yeah,
You know what? Actually, it's safer to play strong safety for Jimmy because the guy isn't going downfield building up speed.
exactly.
That might not be a bad idea, and they might do that because I'm sure he can.
Hmm.
Ward, strong
So
safety. You know, Tavares, as you mentioned, I mean, not Tavares, but I mean, Marcel Harris.
Tart, uh-huh.
No, I'm thinking about Marcel Harris is, see, that game against the Saints didn't have to be a shootout. They
No.
worked Marcel Harris like a pig handle all game long. I was so glad. One thing Spoon did for us when he knocked out that, I think he's a
Jared
tight
Cook,
end.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jared Cook, yeah.
Cook was going to cook us.
He
Cook
was
every
killing
time he
us.
would. Oh,
I think with Harris, I think his only issue is he takes
coverage.
some bad angles. Yeah, he takes some bad angles, and his coverage ability is is not good. But I mean, his tackling is not good. I just wish he'd wrap up more because sometimes he tries to knock your head off and then he
Yeah,
misses.
those kind of guys.
But yeah,
I'm starting to become not a fan of
he needs
that.
some work. But yeah,
Yeah, because remember, Ruben used to do that too. Ruben used to
oh yeah,
launch like a heat seeking missile and miss.
hmm,
I mean,
yep,
by miles. And you know, that kind of guy, especially if I'm a runner or offensive player, I'm going to just keep my eye on him because I know he's going to try to do that.
mhm,
And I'm going to time it. When he does that, I'm going to sidestep, left, right, or just stutter step and let him just
mhm,
dive on by. You got to be careful when you do that, unless you do it at close range. Coaches will teach you that too.
exactly.
You know, so
And yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You're right. And I forgot to go back to the wide receivers and stuff too. Not only do we have Wes Welker as a coach, we also have Miles Austin as a wide receivers coach. So we have
Yeah.
two pretty good wide receiver coaches on our coaching staff to help out these receivers, and I think that would work wonders for Ruggs. Because as you saw, Jalen Hurd in preseason. Yeah, I know it was preseason, but he was killing. And I think if he would have stayed healthy all year, a wide receiver probably wouldn't even be in question at 13.
Yeah. See, that's man. You right? Yeah, that amazing how things actually wide receiver probably wouldn't even be something the 49ers would be looking for. We would be getting Ken Law or one of those other guys. You know why?
Mhm,
Because what if Trent Taylor played this year? First of all, if
mhm.
Taylor and Hurd play, we're probably not talking about anything other than Super Bowl 6 is already in the cabinet in San
Yeah,
Francisco, right? And but then again, we might have not had Emmanuel Sanders. So many things could
yeah,
change,
exactly.
but maybe that doesn't matter. Now we got extra money, and maybe
Yeah,
no, we still don't have
because
enough money to keep
yeah,
Debo. Not
well,
at
you
not
make a good
21
yeah.
million.
No, but you make a good point. If Hurd and Taylor play, we probably don't even look at wide receiver, which means we don't trade for Sanders, which means we have a third and fourth round pick.
Right?
You know what I'm
Isn't it?
saying? So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's amazing how
so
these one little thing can change everything. I got to tell you, Teran, I have a feeling that what we just did with Defo is going to impact the team in ways that we're not going to be able to come up, actually put our finger on maybe until the end of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to pick up, I don't know if it's going to be positive or negative, but we're going to pick up another player or somebody. Are you ready for it? Wait for it. Solomon Thomas has a breakout year.
And that's possible if they keep him inside.
Well, he never could. There was no room for him to play inside before because everybody else was
Yeah,
better than he
yeah,
was.
exactly. Yeah, because playing when they tried him outside, it was a disaster. Trying to play him in, they keep him inside. Now that we have two players gone, Sheldon Day and Buckner, it's his time. It's his time to shine.
Wouldn't it be funny if you reminded us of Aaron Donald? They're built the same.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they
actually,
are.
and actually, from what I'm hearing about Solomon, who's that? They asked Defoe, who's got the fastest first step on the team? Solomon.
Really? Not D4, though.
That's what I would have thought.
Hmm. Wow.
So Solomon comes off the line like a bolt of lightning, but he just gets
Mm.
contained easily.
Oh.
Oh, that's too bad. There must be a way. You saw him getting technique training from Nick Bosa on the sideline. They flashed the camera over. They came to the camera
saw
people. Everybody saw.
I saw
Solomon,
that.
what are you doing? He's your junior. What are you supposed to be teaching him? Nick's
Exactly.
teaching
Yeah, I
you.
saw that. Yep.
Oh, yeah. And the line of my nature says, how do you guard a good one, the 427 and the Ruggs, 427, along with Debo and Kittle? This is the thinking behind why you pick up Ruggs. You look at the names like Debo and Kittle. Get the speed. You agree with that?
That would be a trip. Like, let's just say we can't find a trick because you heard Kyle, which I don't know how believable this is. He said Marquise Goodwin is too good to release. Remember he said that?
Yeah,
He said he's too good to
everybody
release.
echoes in the back of my mind all the time.
But I think at some point, let's just say you get a Ruggs, because I don't know if you saw, it was probably about 2 months ago. Marquise Goodwin posted this thing on Twitter, and he was like, "Everybody's sleeping on me, but now I'm finally healthy." He just had his baby, so maybe him and his wife don't have the stress that they used to, because his wife had a couple miscarriages. Remember,
Back-to-back years.
Back-to-back years. So he finally, I think he had like a little daughter, like a little baby girl, if I can remember correctly. So he had his daughter, and he posted. He was like, "Everybody's sleeping on me. I'm finally healthy. Now he has his baby. He's all, I have speed and I have hands."
Yep.
So maybe
Focused.
now that he has his baby and his wife is kind of stress free, so maybe now he'll be more focused on doing what he needs to do. And if we keep Goodwin, and let's just say he's healthy, and we draft Ruggs.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my Lord.
Oh my goodness. You sent Henry Ruggs and Marcus Goodwin on go routes each time just to open up that middle.
Even the linemen are trying to help. They're running downfield. So nothing y'all can do. There's George Kittle. Whoa, Debo's open. That looks like, is that juice? Oh my God. Y'all don't have enough defenders to stop all this.
Yeah, if they do keep him, because like I said, who knows how he is? Maybe now he's more motivated and stuff like that. But if we do decide to keep him, and we say, you know what, let's trade Pettis, or let's get rid of whoever. But if we keep the one and we draft the Ruggs to go with Debo and Kittle and all them, it's going to be ugly. Like, it's going to be hard. Yeah.
People in the chat already got bunch sets with Goodwin and Ruggs. Throw Trent Taylor in there too.
Oh man.
There's so much quickness. There'll be fire extinguishers on the sideline to spray the field. Oh my! I love me some speed. Always love speed, man. I tell you.
Really?
Oh God! It's just. Some guys are just so fast. It's just fun to watch how they just demoralize a defender. It's just ridiculous. And we even seen it against our own guy when Devontae and also did Sherm up along with, what's his name for the Chiefs. Unfortunately, it was against us. Anyway.
That's funny how you say that. That's funny you say that, Ronbo. When I was in high school, do you remember a receiver, Dante Stallworth? You remember him?
When you said Stallworth, I thought about the Pittsburgh Steelers guy.
Not John Stallworth, his nephew, Dante Stallworth. So I played high school football. I played high school football against him.
Yeah.
And like you said, And you said it's funny how you said that because you said when you have speed up close and personal, it kind of gets you mesmerized just to watch how fast they are. And every time he ran downfield, like everybody on the sidelines would just stop and watch him because he was so fast. And just seeing that kind of speed in person is just crazy. So
And you're on defense.
I was on
See, because
defense. Well, I played two positions. I was an inside linebacker and fullback.
yeah, in high school everybody's a play multiple positions. But you know what? Every
Yeah.
time I was at the rover position, or otherwise known as a safety, right? So every time
Hmm.
your heart, every snap, when those guys are on the field, every snap, your heart is beating 100 miles an hour. Everybody's yelling across the field. It's like red light, red light, red light. Everybody's on alert because this guy will tear you up if you aren't ready. As soon as that ball snaps, get on your horse. Everybody's got their assignment. If you fail, it's like Marquise Goodwin says, if you're not on your cues, it's over. If you miss a step,
Yeah.
it's a wrap. See, I still love that. It is. It's over. You make a
Hmm.
mistake, it's over.
It's all she wrote. Yep.
Fam, hey, Terrence, good stuff, fam. I'm gonna tell you
Oh,
what.
thank you, sir.
We're gonna go ahead and check out. Terrence has addressed all the questions. Terrence, awesome stuff. I loved your draft.
All right,
All right,
appreciate that, Ronbo.
let's see. Let's see what it is. Well, the next we got 3 weeks to go. So, all right,
Yep.
Terrence.
All right,
Hey, hey,
Ronbo.
hey, hey, wait.
Good
We
seeing
got
you.
to scream out with me, Terrence.
All right.
Hey, hey, man, hey, hit that like, fam. We're getting ready to check out. Get ready to go. They have the huddle. Terrence, I'm gonna count 3. Are you ready?
Yes,
One,
sir.
2, 3. Niners!
49ers.
Go! Terrence, have a great evening, fam.
All right, Ronbo. Take care, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.